Okay. All right. Well, Nisha, thank you for joining me. For
You're
those
welcome.
that are going to be watching this, this is Nisha. And before I dig in, let me just tell you guys, she is an absolute powerhouse. And once we kind of get through this, you guys are going to see why. So Nisha, once again, thank you so much for joining me and doing this.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Now, if you would please, tell us about you and a little bit about your companies now, obviously, and some of the services you provide.
Absolutely. So there are two entities that I currently own with my husband and business partner. One is Seattle Cryo Wellness, and the other one's California Cryo Wellness. So we are currently between our five locations that we have right now, spread between Washington and the state of California, mostly in the Bay Area, but are about to go all over the West Coast before the end of this year. Some of the services we provide are, of course, like very much spot reduction related. So using cryo for inch loss all over the body, wherever a client wants to target it, cryofacials and all that good stuff. But then we're also venturing into the medical weight loss to combine this for all of our clients. With the hundreds of clients that we have, thanks to Star Group and all of our locations, we have already got a lot of interest. So that's going to be the lowest hanging fruit to target for us, in terms of, like, clients were already like loyal people with us.
Yeah.
But in addition, of course, we have this amazing campaign planned with Star Group to go out for the medical weight loss side of things too. So that's where we are positioned right now. Although eventually we will have wellness only locations as well, which will have the medical weight loss component added to it, but it's not spot reduction and everything, but just wellness centers as well. So that's a little bit about our company. We, of course, we have a combination of estheticians and like people who have a background in cryo, as well as medical professionals in our company. We have amazing experienced sales managers, as well as gals who are very well trained to be able to handle all sorts of customer situations. And I think our team is what makes internally, our team is what makes us super successful in what we do. But we wouldn't have been able to grow at the pace that we did, in just 6 months, get to five locations, and be able to aim for 15 to 20 within 1 year. Truly, and truly, I mean this, without Star Group,
Thank you.
as our partner in this journey from the very beginning. So
And as much as I would love to take a lot, if not most, if not all of that credit, I think the way that you have gone about this and the way that you've done things is absolutely, and I can't think of a better word than ideal. And for those of you that are watching this, if you didn't hear how many locations she's had within the time frame, tell them one more time. How many months have you been in business and how many locations do you have?
so we are shy of 6 months, a little shy of 6 months, and we are already at five extremely busy, very high performing locations.
I love that. And I want to dig into that here in a minute, but I'm curious and I'd like to get into this. Walk us through the process of how you initially got involved with Star Group.
When we got into this industry, and I know I didn't talk a lot about my background. I've been in tech all of my career, with Amazon, with Microsoft, with Bayer, etc. So coming into this industry, we had no idea where to begin or do any of this stuff. So we had been shopping around first for products, and talking to a lot of manufacturers. We then spoke to Next Wellness, and I loved working with them because they were not pushy, they were just like educational, and I knew that these are the right partners we want to go with product wise. So we did that, and then we spoke to a lot of people and tried to get some recommendations on who should we partner with in terms of marketing. We spoke to different marketing companies as well. And you know for me, like, I work with very specific partners. Like, I don't, there are certain things I just kind of avoid, like extremely pushy partners who are calling you, messaging you 10,000 times to try to be your partners, are just general, are not very, they don't involve you in the process as much. Like, you're not a true partner. You're just somebody that's one more client on the radar. Like, I avoid those kind of people. And when I had my first conversation with Hale, I absolutely loved it. Like, I really enjoyed it. It was not a sales call in any way. It was truly like an engaging, in-depth conversation. I knew that I had a great feeling about it going forward. And then the whole thing, like they like similar to Next Wellness, Star Group was very like informational about how we can do this together, what is realistically achievable, what is achievable in a big way as well, and then how they're going to partner with us on this journey to get us from point A to like point Z, whereas what we wanted to get like quickly, not point B, not point C. We always want to get to point Z, like, really quick. And Star Group has helped me get there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we came about Star Group. We started with one location, and then they grew us so quickly over there. Like, we went from seeing like 6 clients, I think, our first week to 20 clients by the second week, and then just continued to grow aggressively. The quality of the leads was amazing. Like, I wasn't getting crazy clients in the door. I was getting good quality clients who had the ability to pay for services or were well qualified to be qualified with financing. The ads and everything, one thing I love about Star Group's ads versus many other companies out there is that they're not like, just weird and sleazy and just in your face. It's very classy. Like, they don't use they use realistic models. The verbiage is like very realistic. You don't have clients walking in the door being like, oh no, but your ad promised me this, and this is
Yeah.
not what you're offering me. It's very realistic, makes for a very good consultation experience as well. So that's kind of been our roadmap with Star Group. And like, we grew so quickly in our first location. We started out of one suite in this building and then went into 6 suites already just in that location. And because there was so much interest in that location, we, within less than 10 miles, we opened another location, which is bursting at its seams right now. And we basically took over the whole building. We pushed the previous tenants out because the LL was like, excited about the idea of us taking over the whole building and stuff like that. So, obviously, no offense to the other tenant, they did find another
Sure.
place too, so it was all good. But yeah, that's how quickly we have grown with Star Group. And then when we opened in California, same problem. Start with 1 or 2 suites in our first location, which is a baby location really, and just kind of outgrew that. And then now we are in 3 locations in California, all of which we are currently in negotiations with the landlord to get us an even bigger space because we're growing so rapidly. Like, even whether some of our locations are in high-end retail malls, for outdoor malls. Some of them are within, existing historic buildings and stuff like that. Nevertheless, we continue to have to grow faster than even our level of fast, which is already very fast. So,
That's so cool. And see, one thing that I find so amazing about how you've done it is you came from a completely different industry, like
mhm.
something not even remotely associated. So but you had the wherewithal to understand, okay, we need some kind of predictable client acquisition system.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
lot of people don't do that, but I think that's a testament to how you've gone about doing everything and how your model has helped you become so successful. It's like you're really layering the things, right? So we started with, a room basically, but we knew that we needed to get attention to what we were providing. So we reached out to you guys, you helped us with that. But then, to what you have done and with your model, it's like, okay, now let's grow a little bit bigger. Let's probably bring some more people and so on and so forth. And now you're going to be, like you said, up and down the West Coast probably by the end of the year.
Mhm.
So that's fascinating. So I wanted to reiterate that for anybody watching this. It wasn't like she was already in business and then found us. You pretty much just kind of started and said, okay, this is what we know we have to do, and jumped in. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. That's amazing. And you didn't wait. And that's the way it should be. So for anybody watching this, I hope that, they can take that approach as well, because it's the right way to go. So that's awesome. What Because you didn't have particularly any business at that time before you did start with us, like you kept mentioning kind of the rapid growth, right? And now with that, at any point in that time, has it seemed almost overwhelming or anything like that? Or have you been pretty comfortable during the whole process? I mean, from the outside, it looks pretty comfortable, but the old saying about a duck, you can look at a duck on top of the water just cruising, but underneath,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
How's the process been?
You know, definitely growing pains, lots of it. You know, it's not it, there's obviously a lot of challenges. There's team, you have to ramp your teams up, you have to make sure they're trained and certified and all those things quickly enough in all of these situations. You need to have the do so many things so quickly. Probably learning a lot more than most people would who are going slower. So there's definitely like every single day we continue to face growing pains, and I love growing pains because it's a good problem to have. But yes, absolutely, you're growing fast. You gotta, yeah.
I listened to this cool podcast the other day by Alex Hormozy, and he talked about being able to breathe at high altitudes. And he thinks, everybody wants to be at the top of the mountain, but what they don't understand is the air gets thinner up there. So
Mm-hmm.
as you grow, we have this ridiculous notion that things are going to get easier. They don't, right? It's just every inch you get higher going up, it gets harder and harder to breathe. So it's not that the growing pains ever really go away, right? It's just
No.
we get more acclimated and they become easier to deal with.
Yes.
So I think that that's a testament to exactly what you just said. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about going back and from location 1 to location 5, and then foreseeable up to location 20, probably by the end of the year, if not more, what has Star Group really helped implement for you? Was it really the predictable client acquisition system? I know, we do some coaching and things like that. What have you found that we've really been able to help you with in terms of your business and being able to scale?
So one of the things is, obviously going into any location, we are not like, yes, we still do some demographic research, income levels, all these kind of things, but we don't worry as much because I think we've come to that confidence level with Star Group that no matter where it is, Star Group is going to give us predictable client acquisition in that particular area. So we go into that area with full confidence. The other thing is the weekly coaching calls. I'm glad you touched on it, Dean, because that is something I wanted to mention previously as well. That has been very helpful. Even for me personally, as Dean mentioned, like not coming from this industry every single week, like if I as much as I can, I do try to attend the calls. If not, I'm viewing the recordings at 3 a.m. Whatever it is, I make sure I watch it because it's very helpful for me to learn more about the industry, to learn how to continue to be more successful, how to overcome challenges. And I make sure that most of my team members who are especially doing sales or customer relations make sure that they watch all of this as well. That has been crazy helpful. And no matter what I have going on, that is not something I ever miss. And see, that's such an important element to me about working with a partner because you're not just like I'm not going to take any names of other companies, but with many of the other companies, they'll check in with you once a week, maybe by text, or like, you can email them and get an update on things. But with Star Group, it's like you feel like you're truly working with someone who's working within your company with you because everything, whether it's the creatives, whether it's the language that goes into it, whether it's the funnels, whether it's, the type of clients you want to target, any challenges you're facing, pretty much real time, you are instantly connected with them and they're working with you on this together. Plus with all of these coaching calls that every new the other thing is that with Star Group, because they're working with so many clients across the country, I've noticed that all of that, everything that works for the community or certain people in the community, Star Group ultimately makes it so that it's available for all of us to up level ourselves and succeed with those things as well. Like even this medical weight loss thing, we feel confident jumping into it because Star Group's already helping other clients do it, and they have a good, like, everything they learn is imparted to us with these coaching calls. So that has been, like, I cannot tell you how helpful that is. And it's so amazing that it's like, you go out there to hire a consultant, you're going to pay at least $300 to $400 an hour more to just get maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes of their time. But this is something that Star Group has traditionally always included with all of their packages, and I appreciate that very much. If they started charging 400 to 500, though, I would gladly pay, because that is how valuable it is to everyone. So these two things, the predictable client acquisition, being able to have these constructive communications with the team real time at my time, for the most part, since I'm so busy sometimes, and it's sometimes 5 p.m. Pacific by the time I reach out, and usually like I still get a response immediately, or next morning when I wake up, the response that I was looking for is already right there. And the accessibility, the partnership, the predictable client acquisition, the coaching, like if you're looking for a partner, Star Group truly embodies the word partner the best way you possibly can in this industry.
Well, thank you. I love hearing that. That's one of my favorite things is the coaching stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love marketing. I love ads, just because I know how they changed all of my businesses. But,
Yeah,
when you get to impart wisdom that you've learned from somebody onto somebody else, and in turn, what you get to do, you get to take that in and do it with your team. That's my favorite. That's my favorite
yeah,
part, is just the spread of the wealth of knowledge. Now, that being said, I've got to get into what I consider the fun stuff now. Okay. So
okay,
I'm curious, and I'm sure, everybody watching this is going to be kind of curious too. So you literally are, I don't want to say rags to riches, but everybody loves a rags to riches story. Granted, when I say rags, I mean like no experience, right? And when I say
right,
riches, I mean a wealth of experience and scale within half a year.
yeah.
So you started at zero. Let's just talk revenue if you don't mind. You're basically at zero sum start. 6 months later, multiple locations. What are we looking at? And you can just give us a rough number.
Absolutely. So, yes, we started at zero in terms of revenues in this industry with our first location last month. So, obviously, our fifth location just opened. So, I'll give you data on that in just a second. But last month, we closed with four locations with Star Group. We are averaging 100K per month in each location, no problem. So we made 400K last month in revenues between four locations. This month, the new location has been open for about a week and a half, because April 1st was when we officially started seeing clients. We've already crossed 100K in 1.5 weeks.
Oh my goodness, that's just
So,
phenomenal. That is phenomenal.
yeah. So, I mean, we estimate on a very conservative level quarterly between five locations to average about 1.5 million. Our goal is higher because, Star Group keeps sending us so many clients. We're obviously like continuing to expand, and really well qualified clients who have the money to pay for these services. And we don't lower our prices for much, like we value stack it well enough. And we're good with, selling them once they come in. So,
Now, I'm big on this. I love data. I do believe what gets measured gets managed, but I'm also big on the personal side of things, right? We get into business because we want to make impact for other people, but we also want to generate and create a nice life for ourselves, right? No, now my next question is kind of how has working with Star Group and kind of your growth and everything impacted your personal, your familial life, your social life? How has that changed, or has it changed much? Is it do you have more peace of mind? Is it you can do more? I'm always curious about this part.
so there are two things I'd like to highlight here. One, my biggest thing is I love to travel, right? That's really all I like to do aside from work. Like otherwise, I like to work all the time.
Sure.
Sleep, eat, travel, work. So I would say you're obviously, as you're growing, a good problem to have is you're going to get busier and busier. That's all been the case with me as a CEO. Obviously, there's other people in the company too, right? That help. But one thing I loved, and I know Dean knows this because I've said this on a Slack channel once, Dean did this one coaching call where he taught us how to go ahead and block off time for what matters on your calendar every single day, every single week. And that was something that I wasn't doing, right? I was always kind of just run, 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 whatever needs attention, jump, give attention to. But that helped me truly like change the flow of how I did things. Like If you see my calendar now, I don't want to show it to you right now because a lot of like, client stuff on there. But if you look at my calendar now, I block my day off to be the most optimal. Like this is the time I am going to respond to anything that my team has escalated to me that clients need attention. This is my time. As Dean has always kind of emphasized, look at the data. Like as a growing company, I want to look at the data every single day. How many leads came in? How many of these people confirmed appointments? How many of them converted into packages? How much money did we make on a daily basis? Like I have revenue goals for myself, I have revenue goals for my team. How did we do with achieving that stuff? What are some areas of the company that you want to make improvements in? Then your personal time, like I like to make sure that I have lunch and dinner with my husband no matter what. So do I have I set aside the time for that? Have I planned things in a way that I can take those vacations every time I want to? Have I made sure that I have my Sundays away so that I can unplug from tech and go out there and enjoy nature and the outdoors? That 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 session, that coaching call really helped me put that in place. And I follow it to the T right now. So my life is a lot more balanced. It is important to find that balance because as you grow and get busier, the amount of stuff that needs your attention is going to compound. But you have to be able to prioritize and put distance between things that you can delegate and the things that you absolutely need to give attention to. And that is also something I absolutely attribute to learning from Dean and Star Group because coming from tech, there is no work-life balance, right, in the most part. And so this has really helped me. But I hope that
Well,
answers the question a little bit.
no, it does. And that makes me so happy to hear that you're doing it because especially when you are scaling at the rate at which you are, it is very, very easy to fall into the trap of just constantly working. And I love working too. I think there's select human beings that work isn't necessarily just work to us. It's also our hobby. It's what we enjoy,
Yeah.
literally enjoy doing that, which means
Yeah.
that we're doing the right stuff. But
Mhm.
that being said, the fact that you block off Sundays now to get away from the tech and kind of, get away from the screen because we're in front of it all the time. And, the taking lunch and dinner with your husband, those things are quality things and they might not be quantity things, but the quality is so much more, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to be able to do that. And when you are a hustler, we talk about balance. I think one thing that we tend to forget when it comes to balance is, and I own a gym as well, so I always use this terminology. But if you have a barbell, you can have one 100-pound plate on one side, but you can have 10-pound plates on the other. It's still
Yeah.
balanced. It's just the volume is a little bit different on each side. So as long as we're able to make that work, and it not only does it work for us, but the people that we serve and the people that are in our families and our friends, and we could keep that going. I think that is so huge, and it ultimately makes our work that much more rewarding. So thank you.
Mhm.
That personally speaking, that just fills my cup so much hearing that because that's so big. Now, let me ask you this, and this will be our last question. I've taken up plenty of your time, and you've got an empire that you're building, so I don't want to take up all of your time. But if there was anything you could say that to somebody that might be considering working with Star Group, what would that be?
Take the plunge. Don't take it from me. I will personally, if you needed to attest to the fact that you would succeed with Star Group, let them be your partner because whether you've been in this industry for a very long time or you're just new to this industry like me, you want a partner that you're not just a number for, a partner that's going to work with you, collaborate with you on building your empire with you, a partner that's going to coach you and hold your hand in many ways through all of these new challenges that are going to come up as you grow or as you start out, and a partner that really understands this industry and the market. The other beautiful thing about Star Group is that pretty much everybody on their team has either owned a spa, gym, or been in this industry, gone through many of the challenges that you will experience one point or the other, and they're going to give you that experience, that wealth of knowledge to make sure that you're optimally successful. Do that, and I think you'll be golden. We like, as we continue to grow, our commitment is to stick with Star Group through not just 20, 50, 100, whatever locations we aim to achieve over the next 5 years. They're going to be our partners, and I would hate for you to miss out on that. Like, don't waste your time trying all of these other agencies that are hounding you right now as you're trying to start out and they have wind of it. Go with Star Group, because like, I'm telling you, like, I would have probably decided the first month in to back out from this industry and go back to private equity or tech if I hadn't been so successful with them. And we have the other thing to keep in mind is that we haven't been successful with them just one location. We're at our fifth location and growing, and every location is bursting at its seams. So that's why I can tell you that no matter where you are in this country or in the world and you're looking for an advertising partner, they will get you there. You have to work with them and they will get you there.
Oh, Nisha, thank you so much. That makes me so happy to hear. And
Absolutely.
I just want to tell you one more time, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I do know what it's like to be busy while you're building this empire. So I appreciate it wholeheartedly. As always, I'm just gonna tell you, you need anything from us, we're gonna help you out to the best of our ability. But one last time, thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
I appreciate the heck out of you.
Thank you, Dean. Me too. All
All right,
right.
Nisha. You take care. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.